here in Ghana, and this is a ridiculously long overdue catch-up. I'm currently sitting in my room and trying to make sure that the fan doesn't blow everything around. So if I start, wiping my brows, because it's hot, it's damn hot. So I thought I would check in with people. I had a lot of requests for people to let me know what it's like in Ghana for a Kiwi, for a New Zealander, a Polynesian, because I think most people that come here, it's from an American perspective, a European perspective, or UK perspective, but no one really from New Zealand has said anything about what it's like to be here. So I thought I would start talking, because everybody knows that I'm real good at talking. I like talking a lot. So I'm just going to be hashtag, keeping it real, basically. So yeah, as you can tell, it's heating up. We're heading into what they call harmattan, which is really dry and intense. I'm having some weird light stuff going on over here. It's a bit weird. Anyway, and so it's just hot the whole time. So maybe I can start with that. If you're coming to Ghana, I know there's some people that are coming from New Zealand next year. I totally recommend that obviously you make sure that you get the shots that you need. Yellow fever, hepatitis A and B. If you want rabies protection, you can do that. It's entirely up to you. It's personal choice. And also things like taking anti-malarial tablets, having some Imodium, or some electrolytes, so that if you come here and you become dehydrated or you have an upset tummy, you know what to do. If you decide not to do any of those medical kind of precautionary measures, it's basically on you, and so you'd need to foot the bill for that one. It's not too bad. In terms of getting probably like doxycycline here, I think I paid like 30 cedis or something for a card, and that was kind of because I knew someone that was a pharmacist and they kind of had met me before, and I got a bit of a deal, so I got some of those. I've been taking antihistamines so that I don't get as itchy, so it doesn't flare up and things like that, and just the usual Panadol and creams if you get bitten and stuff like that, just kind of what you would have in a first aid kit, some basic supplies. But definitely Panadol's great. Electrolytes are awesome. If you have Enos or the equivalent, you can buy all that stuff here. You can get sachets from the local chemist for probably like 2 cedi, if you need like a bit of liver salts or things like that. So those kind of medications are probably easily available in Ghana. And people say you should always have medical insurance in case things do take a turn for the worst. Heaven forbid that happens, but it's good to have, insurance while you're here, full cover if it's a short time or if you want to have it for a long time. I'm a risk taker. Mine's run out, and I am navigating the system, with support around me for anything medical. That it's basically on you. Things like if you have dental work that needs to be done, there are places that you can get good work done. That could be around 1,500 Ghana cedi for, say, like a root canal. So if you kind of think about that kind of level of work that's needed compared to like a filling and things like that. But that's entirely up to you, depending on how long you're going to stay and those kinds of things. In terms of exchange rate, I think pound is the best. Pound is roughly about 15. So £1 is like 15 Ghana cedi, and give or take, depending on the dollar, how things go. At this moment, 2023, that's what it is. If you're bringing US dollars in, you're looking at around 10 to 12 Ghana cedi for $1 And for New Zealand, for us Kiwis, it's about 6 Ghana cedi. You can use apps like World Remit is a good one, but it doesn't give you as much as, like, say, Remitly. So Remitly is another good app. I shouldn't be mentioning them because they should be sponsoring me for this. So yeah, Remitly or World Remit, or you can just use your Visa card or your bank card here, but be aware of the fees, depending on how long you're going to stay, that sort of thing. That's probably a little bit about that. What has it been like here as a Kiwi? Well, they've always said the first year is the most difficult one, and I can say that has been true for me. Just being that I've had none of my support systems I've had in New Zealand. I haven't had that here in Ghana. I've had to basically fend for myself in a way, but I've been taken care of beautifully by a good friend of mine, Odai Mais, his family have taken me in, because I think when I got here, I was hoping to like naturally, navigate the system. I came on a tourist visa and then got an extension as I was looking to do some projects with an NGO, and that never happened, so I was kind of stuck. So I'm in the process of looking at other options for like staying longer, like residency, or if I'll do like a work permit or things like that. So given that those things never went smoothly, that's what's been quite stressful, trying to navigate the bureaucratic systems here. So if I'm finding it difficult and I don't have screeds of money just to throw around, and I don't have any work coming in from New Zealand, imagine what it's like for the average Ghanaian, working here, living in this country. So in terms of like cost of living, obviously my costs are higher. So if you're an expat working here, they kind of expect you, with government departments in terms of tax and everything, to be earning between 6,000 to 8,000 Ghana cedi a month. The average Ghanaian, if they've got a good job, they're getting, like say a teacher full-time, is getting 2,000 Ghana cedi a month. Your rent for, say, a 2-bedroom place can be from 700 to 1,000 Ghana cedi per month, and that's just kind of an average amount. So it's not easy. And so you can understand the struggle of people here. I think that is what has humbled me the most, is just knowing and talking to people and seeing life in action, to say, yeah, I'm struggling myself, but look at how the people here have been living. It's amazing how people get by. So I think given that, people know the corners, they can get local food, or they might grow their own food, things like plantain or cassava. That's a staple. You can make foods with those kinds of starches, with soups and things like that. So you know the corners. But if you're a foreigner, if you're looking to go and eat out somewhere, you're looking to spend probably 80 to 100 Ghana cedi in one sitting. So for me, that's not an option. Being a musician and, kind of looking at my options here, that hasn't been an option for me. And I never came with screeds and screeds of funds. I came, as a life choice for myself, for my mental health and well-being, to do, things that I wanted to do and experience life the way that I wanted to experience life. But so it's been interesting to navigate the system, and I'm really keen to show you guys, my friends and family out there from Polynesia, New Zealand, Australia, Samoa, what it's like living in an African country, specifically Ghana. In terms of safety, I think it's one of the safest places to visit when you first go to a continent like Africa. But it's always handy to have people that because obviously times are tough. You'll get people that you think you can trust, but you can't, and people that are struggling. So there's opportunity there, for silly behavior. But there are a lot of really kind, generous people here. People have been so positive to me as a foreigner, wanting to know more about where I come from. I talk about, the movie Moana, Jason Momoa, The Rock. So it's good to share my culture, or where I'm from in New Zealand and Polynesia, with Africans, to say, this is how far away it is. And they ask me how long it's taken me to get here in plane. And they're like, wow, far out, you're a long way from home. But it's really nice sharing that cross-cultural kind of, communication, education. So as much as, I'm teaching them, they're teaching me so much about life here. Most people, they're struggling, they're having 1 or 2 jobs, they're living hand to mouth, but they're so positive here and always hopeful that things will get better. So next year they've got an election here, and there are a lot of unhappy people about how the government's been. So it's going to be a bit of a tricky time, I think, in Ghana politically, and probably a little bit unstable in terms of how things are going to go for people. And I think that's going to be an interesting time to be here as well. But yeah, in terms of what I've just mentioned, I talked about, you know, the exchange rates. I did a wee video, uploaded a video on transport. So maybe I'll touch a little bit on that. I don't want to cover everything off in one go because it's a lot to take on. But to get around, I mean, most people are leaving their places at 4 or 5 in the morning and taking trotros, like the buses. And depending on where you are, so from where I am, kind of say a 30-minute drive into town in car would probably cost you between, you know, 8 to 10 cedi. If you're coming from further afar, maybe it's a couple of hour drive, you might be spending, say, 15 cedi. So depending on your location, it takes a lot longer on trotros. An hour trip that could take you 2 or 3 hours some days because of traffic, because of the roading and the roads being so bad. Projects being started and not finished. So where I am, they've got a mall, and then there's like a overhead that they're trying to build, and it's not been finished because apparently the money's run out. So there's dust aplenty, potholes, just trucks breaking down. And so this is really handy. Like I wear scarves whenever I go out and I'm moving around because of the fact that you just get dust in your hair. You're like being, you know, snotting out dust. There's dust in your ears everywhere. So scarves are great for females and hats for guys, but the dust is just everywhere. And that's a tricky thing because projects haven't been finished and because of the weather and everything. So that's something to be mindful of. You can get things like, I think most people know about Uber. So you can have Uber. They have other means of transport called Yango and Bolt. And there's a few others that are coming onto the market. But it depends if it's busy. Often with those services, their map systems aren't always good, or they'll call you and ask you where you're going, even though you put the destination in. Or depending on your location, if the road like where I am is bad, they'll cancel the trip and say, oh, sorry, you know, the road's too bad there, or I'm too far away. So it can be a frustrating experience, but it can be a reasonable amount to pay and to save you time compared to a trotro. I mentioned trotros are like hot boxes. You can be in the middle seat and just like raining with sweat. And so sometimes catching like an Uber is, or a Yango or a Bolt is a convenient option. So that's that on transport and exchange rates and things like that. So I'll keep you guys posted on any other information that comes up, and I'll continue to share my pics and videos of life here in Ghana as a Polynesian in Ghana. And if you have any questions, please feel free to like put them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them so that I can give you guys some real life experience. Okay, catch you soon.